You are on stage. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the space. Hi, Karen. So I have the live showing on my computer here. And then I also have the live going on Insight Timer. So just giving folks a couple of minutes to get into the space. Feel free to enter into the chat where you're tuning in from today, how you're feeling, what's going on. Also, maybe what brings you into the space. Oopsies. Just giving folks a little bit more time to come in. Awesome. It's cold in Ohio. All right. Yeah, it's pretty cold here in California too. Someone didn't get the link. Tell them to check their email. So we're gonna get started in just a couple of moments here. All the way from the UK. Awesome. Welcome, Karen. All right, just giving folks some more time to get into the space. Gonna figure out how to share this link, I think. Let's see. There we go. All right, so we're gonna get started. Yeah, so today we are meeting up to talk about healing the gut and connecting to our, give me 1 second, connecting to ancestral ways of healing. So Naima's coming in, turning off my notifications, always forgetting how. All right, let's see. A way to turn them off, so we'll just deal with that. All right, so welcome to this space. So I'm really excited for the Insight Timer, folks. I'm going to try to, I don't know if you can see my screen here. It's probably not going to be the best. So what I can do for the Insight Timer, folks, for now really is to just, you're just going to get the verbal explanation of this. If you'd like to see the webinar and see the slides and everything in the future, I will have a download of this available for folks. And I will have this available on my website. The website is adventureswithowl.com. So I'll leave that down here in the comments. And we're going to dive right into it after I leave my website. All right. So I guess some people are having issues getting into the room. First time on Vimeo, so we're doing it up. On YouTube, it will not be on YouTube. It'll only be on my website. And you'll only have access to it like through my newsletter. So we're talking about healing the gut and connecting back to our ancestral roots. So how many of y'all know anything about the gut, or what do y'all know so far about the gut? Give folks some time to answer that question. We have some people in the chat. Gut is the main source of serotonin. Awesome. Gut health related issues. Gut health issues. Yeah, so a lot of us have gut health issues. Anything else that folks know about the gut so far? Yeah, sometimes it's called the second brain. And yeah, it does require prebiotics to feed it. Awesome. So y'all know a bunch. So hopefully today we can gain a little bit more insight into healing the gut, and then also learn a bit more about the OwlRare method. So I came up with the OwlRare method, which is basically a method that follows the cycle, almost like how a plant grows from a seedling up to its fruiting and maturity state. And so basically, a lot of us right now are in that seedling stage. We're just getting to know and learn about the system. We're just starting to open up our minds to this new way of healing ourselves. And eventually, our goal is to work our way up to the fruiting stage, or to the stage where we're able to share this medicine with other people. We're able to feel really good in our bodies and ourselves. We are giving and we're also receiving, so we get to that fruiting stage of development. So the discussion outline today, some things to expect. We'll do a little bit about me. We'll go into the anatomy of the gut. We'll go into the anatomy of the vagus nervous system. Talk about leaky guts versus a healthy gut, conventional foods versus organic foods. Why whole foods? So why do we have this conversation about whole foods? Why do we hear about whole foods so much? We'll talk about the OwlRare method, the importance of routine, ways to save money while being healthy, and then we'll dive into the 5-week course that I'm leading up to. So some words to live by. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. So when I hear this, or when I really thought of this quote when I was talking through an interview, it was important to me to discover that really, like, when we start to work on our own development, when we start to help ourselves, when we start to realize that a lot of the problems that we are dealing with in the world can be dealt with within ourselves first, then we can create more space to help other people in the world. And so a little bit about me. I'm OwlRare. I'm a decolonizing yoga instructor, holistic mindfulness coach, an activist, an herbalist, just to name a few. So I describe myself as a multi-dimensional creative artist. I have strong passions for yoga. I'm a musician. I'm into decolonizing wellness, love fashion, travel, magic, entrepreneurship, and manifesting dreams and goals. I identify as queer and non-binary. So I specialize a lot in talking about gender. We talk about yoga events, natural skincare, nutrition, and dance. Those are a few more of my interests. And I first started teaching yoga out in the park with no training. I just had a book and a desire to heal and let go of all the trauma in my life. So for me, getting access to yoga, getting access to these healing spaces, it really took a lot of my own of like paving my own way. There was not I didn't have a lot of money, I didn't have a lot of knowledge or resources. I really just had a group of friends around me who were all kind of waking up to GMOs. We were talking about Monsanto. They were talking about all these different things, and I wanted to learn more and learn more about myself. And when I started to learn more about food and healing, I was always just like, what's going on? Like, what do you mean that, like, the skincare and the food that I'm buying has things in it that are going to cause me to have cancer? What do you mean that these companies are working together? I didn't really understand anything about that. And so I wanted to dive deeper into that, and I wanted to help the world. And I got to this point where all of the weight and pressure of the world was on my back. I didn't know what to do. And so I learned, over time, that once I started to help myself, when I started to heal myself, once I started to, connect deeper to all of the things that I needed to connect deeper to, I found more space and more room in my life to help other people and to, dive deeper into my practice, and eventually to get certified in yoga, and to eventually, do all these things. So it took a lot of, picking myself up and picking up the pieces along the way. And I'm so excited to put all these pieces together with you. So we're going to talk a bit about the anatomy of the gut, and I'll put my little screen up so y'all can see on the insight timer here a bit, like a picture of the gut. It might be backwards for you, it might be upside down. Again, I'm sorry that I can't share my screen, but I wanted to get this information out to y'all. So the gut mainly consists of, or the gut really consists of, it starts at the oral cavity, it starts at the mouth, and then it goes down to the rectum. And when we're talking about the gut, we're mainly talking about the large and small intestine. And so the GI tract is, again, where it starts with the oral cavity and the food travels down to the rectum, and that's how we process our food. That's like a healthy digestion, like we eat the food, it goes down smoothly, and then we expel the food. And so our gut is highly influenced and affected by our vagus nerve, also known as our autonomic nervous system. And so autonomic just basically means that it's happening while we're unaware of it. So while we're living our lives, this nervous system is just continuing to go on in the background. The salivary glands, the liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas they assist the GI tract by secreting enzymes to help break down food into nutrients, which the body converts into energy. And so we use that energy in order to heal other people. Maybe we use that energy in order to get up and walk our dogs. We might use that energy for so many different reasons. And so when we eat our food, it's normal for us to, or it's what we want from our food is to have energy. We don't want to eat our food and feel stuck to the couch or feel like we have a lack of energy. And so our gut is connected to our vagus nervous system. And so the vagus nerve is, again, part of the autonomic nervous system or the unconscious nervous system. And it's broken down into 3 different parts. And so this one is in the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and digest function of the body. Then you have the sympathetic nervous system, and that's your fight or flight. And so with our parasympathetic nervous system, this helps us to stimulate the flow of saliva. This helps us to slow our heartbeat down if we're feeling really anxious. It helps us to stimulate peristalsis is basically just this secretion of enzymes from an organ in your body called the spleen, which is basically helping, again, for you to digest and for you to move things through your body. So healing this nerve helps to stimulate the involuntary and relaxation of the muscles of the intestines or the other canals, creating wave-like movements that push food forward. So more than we think, our parasympathetic, these scientists and these words, really is here to help us to digest our food and to get deeper into our food. And so what are some signs of a healthy gut versus signs of a leaky gut? And so when we talk about a healthy gut, we're going to talk about a healthy vagal tone. When we talk about a leaky gut, we're going to talk about an unbalanced vagal tone. So the signs of a healthy gut are going to be smooth digestion and regularity of bowel movements. So when you eat your food is being digested, it's being processed well. And then from there, you're going to have space to, have bowel movements. You're not going to be, feeling stuck. When you have that stuff stuck in your body, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So we're having that smooth digestion and we're regularly allowing things to flow. Another sign of a healthy gut is going to be increased energy. So we have an increased amount of energy, we have increased stamina, and then we also have an increased adaptability to stress. And so there's so much stress in our day-to-day life. So when we tap into healing our gut and creating this healthy vagal tone, we are more energized, we have more stamina, we are more adaptable to our environment. This already might sound like so many great things for you. From there, we have a strong or strengthened immunity. So our immune system is going to be strengthened. We're going to have a deeper connection to, our body from there. From there, we also have a deeper ability to focus and organize. So we'll have a deeper energy to be focused on our task in order to get the work done, in order to get the jobs done. We'll be able to stay on track with our goals and visions. So if you've had many goals and visions in the past and you didn't have the ability to stay on track with them, it could be a sign of an unhealthy vagal tone or an unhealthy gut. And so one last thing, is a decrease in symptoms from anxiety and depression. So if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with fear of the future, if you're dealing with increased hyper energy in your body, or if you're dealing with depression and you're focused on the past a lot, or you're feeling really slow, really low energy, then again, this might be a sign that you have an unbalanced vagal tone. But when you have a healthy one, these symptoms decrease. So signs of a leaky gut. You have bloating, diarrhea, gas, and IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. So again, when we're eating these certain foods or when our vagus nerve is out of tone, so you could be eating really well and your vagus nerve is out of whack. And even when you're eating well, you're still feeling bloated, you're still feeling diarrhea, you're still feeling gas. You're like, why is this happening to me and I'm eating healthy foods? It could be a sign that your vagus nerve is needing some support, it's needing some healing. Another sign of a leaky gut is going to be hormonal imbalances, seasonal allergies, and asthmatic symptoms. So if you deal with, a lot of allergies that come seasonally, if you have imbalances in your hormones, that could be anything from, like when you have like what is it called? When you have like a period or anything like that, you might be a little bit more angry. You might be a little bit more, like unable to balance your emotions, and this could be a sign of an unbalanced vagal tone. Mental health issues like depression, anxiety, ADHD, and ADD are also linked to a leaky gut or an unbalanced vagal tone. Skin conditions. So I had a lot of eczema growing up and certain things like that, skin conditions. And I was like, what's going on? I'd go to the doctor. They always be like, oh, it's just eczema. You just have dry skin. But then I noticed though that it would happen more frequently when I would feel really stressed, when I would eat certain foods. And so then another sign of this is food sensitivities and food allergies too. So if you have food sensitivities that just came out of nowhere, like for me, I started to become allergic to gluten out of nowhere. I started to become, really sensitive to sugars, certain different things. This could be a sign of a leaky gut or an unbalanced vagal tone. Then the last thing is going to be arthritis. So if you hear a lot of like cracks when you're moving your joints, or if you have joint pain or chronic fatigue, this can be another sign of an unbalanced vagal tone. So there's so many different things, that we can look for and notice, kind of to say, okay, like maybe it's not my food, or maybe it is my food. So you kind of have like an understanding of what's going on here, and then now we can kind of look at how can we help it. So conventional foods or GMOs. So with conventional foods, there's a conversation that we have, when we're talking about the pesticides that they're spraying on our foods, when we're talking about, the ways that they get our food here from other countries. So they put it through radiation, and that makes the food sterile, so that it won't sprout, certain things like that. And there's arguments for good reasons for these things, and then there's also arguments for why they're bad, and there's science to back them. And if you ever want to look into irradiation or anything like that, you can always look it up, and you'll see all these videos, with why it's bad, and you'll see videos about why it's good. But the main thing is that we're creating a disconnection from nature and how things were naturally created. And so conventional foods and GMO. GMO stands for genetically modified organism. So it means that human intervention has been has happened with the natural process of agriculture. So conventional foods are generally GMO seeds, or they're organic seeds or foods with science with science backed or science, influenced, and they come through with harmful additives, antibiotics, herbicides, and toxic chemicals that they add to the foods. Some other things that they might add to your foods are growth hormones, artificial food colorings, and unnatural preservatives. Growth hormones, which can lead to, again, some cancers in the body. Artificial food colorings have been linked to ADHD in children. Artificial food colorings have been linked to just a decrease in the brain development of children. And you'll see these artificial food colorings in a lot of children's foods and a lot of things like that in our society. And then these unnatural preservatives. So the unnatural preservatives that they'll spray on the foods, a lot of the times the foods are grown with synthetic fertilizers. And then we mentioned the radiation, we'll mention that again, where they put the food through light radiation, which kills off, which kind of changes the cellular level of the food. You don't taste it, which is kind of scary in a way. But basically they're changing the DNA almost of this food so that it's not able to produce, or it's not able to harm people if there's like bugs in there or something that's coming from another country. So there are like some good preventative measures for them, but it's also like, is there a better way to do this? And then a lot of farmers use sewage sludge as a way to grow their crops. And so sewage sludge is basically just the waste after the stuff goes in the toilet and it goes to the power plant and they clean the waters or whatever, the sludge that's left over, they give it to the farmers and the farmer goes and they make that food. And so that's why it's really important for us to learn a bit more about where we can get organic foods or where we can learn more about local foods and a bit more about whole foods. And so from my perspective, a whole food is going to be a food that that doesn't have any like human or science interventions in there. So whole foods help to protect the body and they allow the body to recover from disease and years of poor eating habits. So these whole foods also offer the most nutrition and balance to the body, bringing the body into balance between what I consider the trilogy, which is the mind, body, and soul. These whole foods also are a revival of ancient principles. So we're revitalizing our body again and connecting back to our ancestral roots. And so this is so important for so many of us because a lot of us are disconnected from our ancestral roots due to the diaspora, due to so many different things that have happened in the world. So you might not even know exactly what your background is, depending on who you are, et cetera, et cetera. And so coming back to our food, coming back to what makes us feel good and whole really helps us to, again, connect back to our ancestral roots. And then food is usually grown or prepared with more love and awareness. And so there's this energy, and you can probably feel my energy right now through the screen, but energy is pretty contagious. And so you want to make sure that the food that you're eating, that the energy that comes from your food is prepared with love, is prepared with awareness for the environment, for the world, and so that we can, help to shift things. And again, we can only really shift and change the world when we start to change ourselves. And from changing ourselves, we can help maybe influence someone else to make a better choice when they go into the kitchen or when they go out and buy food. So how do we heal? This is when the OwlRare method comes into play. And so the OwlRare method, as you can see, I want to show y'all so you can see a little bit, give you a little picture of it. Again, I'm going to have this up on my website for folks to view. And again, if you go to my website, you can join the email list and you'll definitely get information on this too there. So we start out at the sprouting stage. And then we work our way into the seedling stage and find ourselves in the vegetative stage, budding stage, flower stage, and eventually we ripen. And so what happens in each of these stages is that in stage 1, we're understanding the anatomy of the gut and the vagus nerve and how they work together in the body. So we get deeper into the anatomy there, we get deeper into understanding different parts of it, what foods help to balance the spleen, what foods help to relax the nervous system, what herbs help to calm my body, or what things can I bring into my body. So the step one is really just creating that awareness. Like, okay, there's a vagus nerve. The awareness, okay, I'm in a body. Or there's something in my body that's doing this digesting for me. When I eat my food, it doesn't just disappear into nothing. There's something that happens there. And what is that? Step two, or phase two, when we're getting to that seedling stage, is learning to listen to your body and to become an observer to the experience of life. So we're just learning to listen to our body. What is our body saying to us? What is our body asking of us when we eat these certain foods? So something I've noticed even this morning, I was like, oh God, I have this webinar today. I got to get ready. Da da da. I'm feeling really tired right now. Da da da. And then my mind was kind of going. I was like, wait, okay. I'm getting into like this anxious state. I need to just breathe for a moment. So I took a deep breath. And that's that awareness. That's that step two. And from that step two, you can move forward and you can get yourself back to regulation. You can kind of regulate yourself from getting to that awareness. You can help yourself to grow into that plant that you always aspire to be, that you always are, really, that people see you shine whenever you leave your home or whenever you're being your best self. That's you are that fruiting plant. So phase three is learning to read and question food labels without becoming stressed. So food label awareness with balance. So again, we're just becoming aware of looking at the back of our labels, questioning things. If you can't pronounce something, then do we Google it, etc. So just learning to look at the labels of our food and being more open-minded to researching, being our own researcher in a way, sharing that information too. Like maybe you go home and you tell your roommate or you tell your partner, like, hey, I learned about this thing that's in this food. Did you know about this? And from there, you might spark a shift in them, and they might wake up to the same realization that there's something in the food that's not supposed to be there, that's causing me to feel this way, or that might be implementing or causing me to feel out of whack. So step four is the discovery and implementation of personalized herbal supplements or tonics that fit into your lifestyle. So everyone has a different need for different herbs. I wish I could just say, hey, just take ginger and it'll help you, but everyone has different needs. So in this course, we're diving into each person's individual needs. And that's really you, like you're learning to find out exactly what you need. I help you, I guide you with the herbs, I guide you with how to create the tonics, what herbs work well as tonics, and where to source them. And then we're learning to see food as medicine again. So we disconnected from seeing our food as medicine. We just kind of see our food as something that we need to do in order for us to get to the next place. But when we start to look at our food as medicine, we start to cherish it more. We have more of a relationship with our food. We'll maybe sit down at the table without putting on the TV and just enjoy the meal, enjoy each bite. And that doesn't mean we're going to sit there and count, 20 bites at one time. But what it means is that we're going to sit there and really see what it's like to enjoy this meal. What are the flavors? Why do I like this food? What do I not like about this food? And then after you eat the food, seeing how you feel. Are you feeling energized after you digest your food? Or is the food not digesting? Are you sitting there for 30 minutes in a yoga pose? Like, I need to digest this, but it's not going. How do I help? And so, we're figuring out what our body needs. We're listening to our bodies. And then step five, we're discovering, this is one of my favorite parts. In stage five, we're discovering new ways to heal and ground. So in stage five, we are in that blossoming stage. We have our flowers. We are almost ready to bear fruit. So we're discovering new ways to heal and ground with balanced nutrition, exercises that make us happy. Instead of exercises that make us sad, we want to be happy. So if that means you want to lift weights, then lift weights. If you want to dance, then dance. If you want to walk, then walk. But finding something that works for you is really important in creating this lifestyle and in following the OwlRare method. Motivational meditation. So finding meditations that motivate you. Everyone's different again. So, there might be a meditation that motivates one person and another one that doesn't. Maybe you like voices in your meditations. Maybe you like them silent. And maybe you don't even know what meditating is. So taking a moment to dive into that. What is meditation? And how can this motivate me on a daily basis? Or maybe you don't do it every day, you do it every other day or something like that. You find a routine that works for you just to start out. And then also youthful yoga classes. So youthful yoga classes that help you to feel like young, yoga classes that help you to feel energized, yoga classes that help you to feel more limber and able to move your body. And if yoga isn't something that you're interested in, then finding something that works for you, like qigong or anything else. There's so many different methods of yoga, and yoga is really just connecting you to your higher source. So whatever connects you to your higher source is your yoga. And then step 6, we're finally bearing fruit. We're feeling so good. We're feeling so grounded. And now we can finally take this knowledge and share it with others in the community to spark a renaissance of health and wellness. And so this cycle just continues on its own from there, because we take this knowledge that we have, we're feeling good about ourselves, we now know how to regulate and balance our nervous system, we now know what foods that work for us, which foods don't, and now we're able to share this information, share our knowledge about herbs to other people, and move forward this renaissance of waking up to what helps us to feel healthy and what helps us to feel well. So why choose the OwlRare method? Well, to start, diets don't work for everyone. Let's just start with that. Diets do not work for everyone. Diets aren't made for everyone. Actually, the BMI was designed after 2 cis white men, and basically what they did was they, weighed themselves and they made this chart, and they're like, okay, this is what we think. We're healthy, so we think that everyone should be in this bracket of health, and they kind of just sent that out, and it wasn't even meant to be a measure of the world, but then it became a measure for everyone in the world. So you have people from all over the world that are being subjected to this BMI regimen, but it's not made for everyone. So when you choose the OwlRare method, we find something that works for you. We find something that helps you to feel more comfortable in your body, more free in your body. If that means that you want to lose weight, then we can talk about ways to do that. If you want to gain weight, we can talk about ways to do that. If you feel good about your weight and you want to feel healthier, then we talk about ways to do that. And so there's a disconnection from the whole idea that you need to be skinny in order to be healthy, or you need to be fat in order to be healthy. Like, no, health really starts from the inside. What's going on within your being? How is your body processing things? Are you digesting your food? Are you feeling good? Do you have regular bowel movements? That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for, did you lose 10 pounds? Because that's not going to help you to see or to create the shifts that are really needed in order for us to create a better world. Because not everyone needs to lose 10 pounds. And so customized lifestyle and routine promotes happiness right now. So instead of us looking at this goal oh, I'll be happy when I have that 6-pack, or I'll be happy when I can do this, we're learning how to be happy right here and right now with what tools and what gifts that we are presented with to this day. And then we learn to be our own healers. So something that's beautiful about this journey for me is that I learned how to become my own healer. Now I want to share these tools with all of you so that you can learn to help to heal your own selves. All bodies are welcome, and weight loss alone, again, does not equal great results. Greater vitality and connection to your body does. And then we're finding healthy routines that work for us, and we're learning how to follow those routines, and if we slip up, it's okay. So the importance of routine. Routine is so important because it helps to ground and anchor us. It helps us to just feel okay, I'm good, I'm doing what I need to do for the day. And it helps us to have this sense of completion. Instead of feeling like we have all this running to-do list, since we have our routine, we can add the things from our running to-do list into our routine so that it gets done. It helps to reduce stress levels, having a routine. So when we have a routine, our stress levels go down. You might think about if you ever lost a job, and right when you lost that job, you got really stressed, and it might not have been only because of the job, it might have been because your routine totally switched up. And now you have to find your way back to a routine that works for you. So routines help to reduce stress levels. Routines also promote positive self-care habits. So when we have a routine, we're more inclined to create more positivity in our own selves. Wow. Routine also helps support healthy sleep cycles. So if you have issues with sleep, if you have issues with, falling asleep, waking up on time, you wake up super tired, finding a routine and building a routine will help with that. Routines help with sustainability, again, in positive lifestyle and exercise happiness. So when you see exercise happiness, just know that means that I'm doing exercise that makes me happy, whether that's walking outside, whether that's going for a little hike in my backyard that's only like 2 meters big, whatever it is, that's a form of exercise. You got up, you did something differently, you got your body moving, and from there, hopefully this helps you to feel happy. That could be gardening, that could be, helping someone organize their house, Marie Kondo their house, whatever it is that helps you to move your body and also feel happy, we're promoting that. A reduction in procrastination and an increase in proficiency. So, again, it helps you to not get into that procrastinative, oh, I'm going to do this, but I don't have time to, or I'm too busy. Like, it helps you to just kind of, okay, this is my next thing, this is my next thing, this is my time, this is my space to kind of chill, this is my day to chill, whatever it is. Again, everyone's routine is different, but finding a routine that works for you, and also putting in things that make you happy. So again, that exercise happiness, that positive lifestyle things, what things make you happy that you can add to your routine, so you're not always just working, because we're not only here to work, we're here to also live. And it helps to build self-confidence. So we gain more confidence in ourselves, and we gain more confidence just being in the world. Again, for folks that are just tuning in now, you can check out my website, adventureswithowl.com. From there, there's an email list. Sign up. Once you sign up on the email list, you'll get all the information on the course that's coming up, and you'll also get access to this slide that I'm reading on the live webinar. So some more words to live by. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Coming straight from Hippocrates. So I did some research on this quote, and it was funny because they were like, we don't have any recollection of Hippocrates saying that. But what's really cool, though, is that Hippocrates was super big into nutrition and into, us healing ourselves through the food and through what we're eating. So again, just having this awareness that the food that we eat is our medicine, and the medicine that we need is our food. So one big thing that occurs to a lot of us when we think about eating healthier is, how can we save money and still take care of our health? Prioritizing our organics is one of the main way. So if you don't eat the skin, throw it in. That is a great way to think about it, because a lot of the things that they're doing with the food is that they're spraying the pesticides on the skins, and that's how we're ingesting a lot of things that are not good for us in the foods. Now, when you buy things that are conventional, there is a chance that they could have been grown with GMO seeds. So that's important. And a way that we can combat that is by learning about the dirty dozen. And I'll get a little bit more into that later. So we're sourcing our foods from different stores. So, instead of just going to Whole Foods, check out Trader Joe's. Check out Mom's Organics if you have one near you. Check out a local small shop. See what the price differences are over time. Something I noticed was that Aldi might have coconut butter or coconut oil that's organic and healthy for $3, and then I'll go to the store right up the street from me, and it'll be $11 for the same jar. So it's looking at, where can we source these things from different places? And then also maybe taking some time to dive into why those prices are a little bit cheaper too, and seeing, like, is it ethical? Does it go with your values? Another way to save money is to go natural. So some examples are to eat seasonally, learning about what foods are in season. And, when we learn about what foods are in season, it gets us closer into growing our own food. And when we grow our own food, we have all of the control over what pesticides are in it, what's going on in our food, at least for the most part, besides the environmental things like car exhaust, etc., depending on where your garden is, or if you have access to that. And if you don't have access to a garden, then maybe you grow something in your kitchen. Another thing is the CSA box. So community supported agriculture. There might be a local farmer or a local farm nearby where you can pay them X amount per month, meet up at a local spot, and they'll give you a box of produce. You're helping a local farmer. You're decreasing, your carbon footprint, or the carbon footprint of our species, really, just by you going and getting that on your own instead of it having to be in this big truck, etc. So going natural, finding ways to eat seasonally, grow your own food, and finding a connection with your local farmers. And then one last thing I wanted to touch too about saving money on your food is the EWG, or the environmental. I'm gonna mess up. The Environmental Welfare Group. I think I'm wrong about that. But basically, the EWG is this nonprofit that fights against the harmful pesticides sprayed on our food, and they help to spread awareness on the importance of eating local and organic. So they have a Dirty Dozen, and basically these are the foods that are tested with the highest exposure to toxic pesticides. And then there's the Clean 15, and these are foods that are okay to buy conventionally due to being trusted by the EWG. They update yearly. So some examples of the Dirty Dozen for this year: strawberries, spinach, kale, collard greens and mustard greens, nectarines, apples, grapes, cherries, peaches, pears, bell and hot peppers, celery, and tomatoes. So the things from that list, you want to buy organic if you can this year, because they are testing the highest for pesticides. The things that you can buy conventionally without much issue this year, they test the lowest: avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, onions, papaya, sweet peas, eggplant, asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, kiwi, cauliflower, mushrooms, honeydew melon, and cantaloupes. And so something you might notice too about the Clean 15, a lot of those have foods with skins that we don't eat. So the next phase is really talking about the course. The Healing the Gut and Connecting Back to Your Roots course. It's a 5-week course. We're diving in again to the OwlRare Method. We're diving into various ways to heal ourselves. And this course is packaged at a price of $600. However, since you stuck around through this webinar, we're offering it to everyone today for $299. So that's 5 weeks. In that 5-week course, we are going to spend 2 days. So it's going to be a Saturday and Sunday starting on April 1st. We're going to meet for 2 hours each day with a break in between. So it's a 3-hour stretch. And basically, we're going to, again, dive into each step of the OwlRare Method so we can get you back to wellness. And from this course, you're going to learn, again, the deep dive into the importance and the anatomy of the gut, and learn new ways to soothe the vagus nerve. We're going to heal in community with a decolonized mindset. So again, by you supporting me and by you being a part of this course, you're also supporting the energy of decolonizing and allowing more people of color, more Black people, to step forward and share what they know and what we need to share it to help to heal the community in our own ways. You're going to learn various methods of fasting and how to transition safely with guidance and support along the way. We'll dive into yoga and pranayama techniques specifically for digestion and IBS. You'll experience the magic of the OwlRare Method. Discover wholesome recipes and ways to incorporate elements of wellness into a busy schedule, and you'll build a healthy routine and goal setting or manifesting for a better life. So if all these things sound great to you, I would love to see you there at the 5-week course. It starts on April 1st. I'm going to be sending that out in my newsletter. Again, if you want to check out the newsletter, that's on adventureswithowl.com. Right when you get to the website, you'll see it'll pop up right there that you can sign up. And now we're at the Q&A. If folks want to ask some questions now, the floor is open, and I'm here to answer your questions. So let's see what we got over here. Would gastritis be a leaky gut? I have too many of these symptoms. So I'm not too sure on what gastritis is. However, if it has to do with you having a lot of gas in the body, or if there's, an issue of like gas buildup in your body, or if it's something that has to do with your center, then most likely it's going to have to do with a leaky gut and how to heal that. Any other questions from folks? This is your time to shine. Grow your own food with love, yes. And so I'm just gonna put the website in again for folks. Want some more info or to join the newsletter. Well, I guess if there's no questions, then maybe that means I did a good job of explaining everything. From there, yeah, I have a little poll. So I'm going to send out the poll over on the webinar, and folks can answer it here on Insight Timer. Oh, what's the best foods for constipation brought on from surgeries and infection? So for constipation, you're really going to want something that's going to help to lubricate, the insides of your body. So I like olive oil, or incorporating maybe some olives into your diet that have some oil with them. That could definitely help a lot with constipation. I believe that bananas actually cause more constipation. So ginger and lemon will help too with creating more of a smooth move in the body. And so, folks, what does mindfulness mean to you? We have health, deep breathing, unsure, meditation, and yoga. All right, so we got 2 healths. We got 1 deep breathing. Nice. Yeah, so hydrate, yes. Drink half your weight in ounces of water or herbal teas. Yes, hydration is a big, big part of helping with a lot of the things that we deal with too, like making sure we have enough water. That is a big, big key point, because I believe we're like 97% water, something crazy like that. So it's important to make sure that we have enough water going on in the body. So yeah, mindfulness can mean anything to you, to be honest. It's what helps you to feel more connected and centered in your being, in your life. And as long as your mindfulness practice, is not harming other people in any other way, then it's a mindfulness practice for you. How do you feel after eating a heavy meal? So for me, after I eat a heavy meal, I usually feel pretty sluggish. I'm ready to pass out on the couch, and nothing is getting done, and that's fine. And then our last question is going to be, do you think displaying calories of food on menus will encourage you to make healthy choices? So for me, I never really calorie counted. That was never really. We have one person that said, I hate calorie counting. Thank you. Because calorie counting has nothing really to do with, everybody's different. Everyone's body needs a different amount of calories. Everyone's body has different needs. It's important to make sure, yes, that you do get enough of certain things in your diet, like healthy fats, enough vitamins, et cetera, et cetera. But counting our calories, I mean, if you are a really active person and you're burning 3,000 calories a day, then you're going to need to eat differently than the person who's burning 1,000 calories a day. So calorie counting is in that BMI realm of it only works with certain people. It's only specified for one type of person. and it's not varied for all types of people. Nice, awesome. Let's see what's going on in the chat. All right, well, so this will be available again for folks to check out. This will be available for folks to check out at their own discretion. I'll be uploading the webinar. Maybe I will put it on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. It's Amani Yoga Experience. So I'll look into that. If that's in alignment, then I will definitely put it up there. This is my first ever webinar. So I'm hoping that it was good and informative and that you feel like you learned something new. And maybe I'll see you at the 5-week course that starts in April. Again, that's going for half off, so it's a great deal. And let me know if you have any other questions, and then I'm going to just mention my website here again for folks to check out. If you didn't get to join the webinar, I can send a link to the YouTube channel, yeah. I just have these links ready to go. Here's my YouTube channel. I notice I'm starting to make faces when I look at like the computer. I'm like, oh no, is this part of being a millennial? Am I not young anymore? we're moving into the Gen Zs are the young people now. I'm trying to figure out how to share it, but it's going to be under Amani Yoga Experience. IMANI Yoga Experience. My YouTube channel is being annoying right now. It's not letting me. I'm not seeing the share my channel option. That happens. All right, so I'm just gonna put this here for the people on Insight Timer. All right, and thank you all again so much. Olivia, I will make sure that I send that to you. You're part of the email list. If you didn't receive the email list, let me know. I'm gonna try to get that to you now. Here we go. Amani Yoga Experience. Calm down. And yeah, so the 5-week course, I'll go over it again really fast. The 5-week course, basically it's going for $600, but we're doing it for $299.99 for folks that came in and stuck through the webinar today. And we're going to dive deep into the importance and anatomy of the gut and learn new ways to soothe our vagus nerve. We're going to heal in community with the decolonized mindset. We're going to learn various methods of fasting and transition safely with guidance and support along the way. We're going to dive into yoga and pranayama techniques for digestion and IBS. We're going to experience the magic of the OwlRare Method. And the OwlRare Method, again, we're starting from a seed and working our way up into a flowering plant. We're going to discover wholesome recipes and ways to incorporate elements of wellness into a busy schedule. So some of us are so busy, we don't have time to make all these elaborate dishes or prepare all these things. So how can we bring wellness into our lives when we're busy? And then we're going to build a healthy routine with goal setting and manifesting for a better life and better future. And I'll go back a little bit. I had someone come into the webinar that missed out on the OwlRare Method. But the OwlRare Method, again, we're starting from a sprout. We're starting from a seed. That's the phase 1, where we're learning about the awareness of what's going on in the body. And then we have phase 2, where we turn into the seedling. We're getting more into that research, investigative state. And then in our vegetative state, we're starting to slowly sprout ourselves, trying to slowly show ourselves to the world. We're starting to really learn more about ourselves. And as we get into the budding, flowering, and ripening stage, our goal is to, start to implement and learn about herbs and foods that work for us, so that when we get to our ripening stage, we can say yes, and we can help other people to, start to make these shifts in their own diets and their own wellness. Did I answer that question for you okay? Are there any other questions? So I'll be sending everyone again that signed up and part of the newsletter you'll get an email today about how to sign up for the course. And there is a payment plan option that's available too for folks if funds are tight, or if you want an option where you can, pay as you go. I definitely understand the need for paying as you go. So I just want to get as many folks in here that would love to be in here because again, we're sparking that change together. We're implementing the OwlRare method together, and we're gonna create change in the world. A Gabera daisy flower. Yes, you can be any flower you want to be. So yeah, this course is really going to be so awesome because I'm really putting into it not only just things that I learned, but these are things that are me. Like, this is an extension of my being that I am giving to you. This is how I live my life. This is how I get through the day to day. And then there's also some things in here that as a human, I'm not perfect, and that we're all kind of working on. Like getting those routines together and those goal settings and manifesting a better life. That all takes a lot of practice and time. But collectively, I believe that we can do this and we can get to where we need to be. So thank you all so much again for tuning into this webinar. I have a puppy right here who is ready to go outside for a walk. And I look forward to, again, y'all, I look forward to having this course. And, try not to look at this course as something that's like, oh, this is a big expense. But this is really an investment in your future. This is an investment in yourself. This is also an investment, in creating a world and creating change that is highly needed, especially right now. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sending you so much love. Again, the website is adventureswithowl.com. And Lynn, shoot me an email, Lynn. My email is adventureswithowl, because I have to run, at gmail.com. And I'll talk to you forever about things to help you move. But olive oil is great. Boop. Sent that in. Fish oil too might be really helpful, depending, but I really love olive oil for helping to lubricate my insides. All right. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon.